what it is, what it was, and what it do. It is the Lesson Stealthy Ninjas proudly bring to you CCR 100, aka Car Chronicles Reviews 100. Scooter Ray, joined by the Cosmic Boss, and at some point she'll magically pop up. Either on Sita, aka or Run Your Miss, fam. 100 of these things.
100. And you know what's
Uh,
funny?
100.
I went back and looked at some of them. We only started with the Candyman reboot.
Yep,
We,
yep,
like, so we
yep,
did a lot
yep.
in a very short
Done
amount of
100.
time.
Yep, yep. So, I mean, we here. This will kind of be our celebration slash summer movie TV wrap up at the same time. We might
Mhm.
give spoilers, we might not. We'll see, depending on how much we like the movie or not. But boy, 100 of these things.
100.
Like, I mean, if we really being technical, technically we did more than 100 because if you break down what we did with Last of Us and things like that, technically more than 100, but y'all get the
Right.
gist. Hey, Mrs.
Hey,
Ladybug.
Mrs. Ladybug.
Mm, that 100 CCR. I wish I had like streamers and, things to just pop and celebrate, but I don't feel like cleaning it up at the same time afterwards. So I'm not going to. Yeah. Obviously, Aranya is still stuck in whatever portal she is stuck in.
Right.
And, you know, hopefully she comes through. But all right, let's talk about it, boss. How you feel, man? 100 of these things. How you feeling?
100 of them. Like it's like I said, like looking back, we only started with the Candyman reboot. I did not realize we had done so many. Like I knew you were keeping track, like in hearing
Yeah.
the numbers, but just looking back to see everything, because like I think I said like a while ago, I couldn't name you 10 of them that we like. It just and so looking back, I was like, oh shit, we did do that one. Oh shit, that was only number 20. I swear we just did that last week. Like, like so
Along
it's
with me.
we did a whole lot. It is just oh man,
Send either on to the link.
it was just
But
great,
yeah,
man.
um, I would say personally, like it's been quite like you said, when you really think about it, it started with the Candyman reboot,
Hmm.
and now we're here. Like that's crazy. Like
Yep,
it's a it's unique to know the fact that we've discussed and talked about that many movies and or TV shows or whatever since then, and also to think that there's still many more we hadn't talked about that's not,
right.
there. So yeah, um, but yeah, I would say it is working. I would say from the fact that we've had mad fun with these, and the fact that how did the boy Drizzy say it? We started from the bottom, now we here.
Hmm.
So um, at some point we will go back to recording them in the car. you know,
Right.
and
Absolutely.
it, since that was supposed to have been like the quote unquote gimmick of them all, but the Texas heat be saying otherwise, even with the
Exactly.
AC.
Exactly.
So nobody's trying to die for content. We could do we could do some silly things for the content. I ain't trying to die for the content.
Exactly.
See, hold on. There she go right there. We have evolved.
No,
We have evolved.
we have evolved exactly.
Maybe in the fall and the winter, maybe the spring CCRs will we'll go back in cars, but nobody's trying to die for the content. I'm just saying. Uh but Candyman was the original Candyman was the first CCR, but do you remember the original movie we ever reviewed
The original
for our
movie.
for the content?
I do not like like looking at them like I just like Candyman was the first in the playlist. So no, I do not remember. Uh-uh.
So Candyman was the first in the playlist, but the first movie we ever reviewed was Army of the Dead, which coincidentally was our first podcast, period.
Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead, was it Army of the Dead? Yeah.
Because that's
The,
Evil Dead, like Army of the Dead. No, no, the
yeah,
Netflix movie. Um,
yeah, the
is that
Netflix
what you
movie.
mean? The Netflix movie, man.
Yeah. Shout outs to Neon Xerxes. But yeah, that was our very first movie review that we have
Dang,
ever did. Yeah, at Zerk's place. Yep. And speaking
that's
of, you know
right.
what I'm saying? Shout out to Neon Xerxes. Shout outs to Mrs. Ladybug. Shout outs to Planet Nico. Shout outs to Liv
Yes.
Dizzle. Shout outs to Jaeger Von Bastard. Shout outs to the Sixth Degree, Beautiful Disaster. All the people who have graced us with CCRs. Shout outs to all of y'all, cause you know we uh we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it alone. So it's always good to have fresh faces to help us out in these times.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess while Laranya is still figuring out what's going on, I guess boss we can do a little bantering on our own. Uh do you have a favorite CCR?
Um, mm, that's a good question. Let me see. Favorite CCR. I don't know. Like the ones that stand out, the ones where we just trashed, Men and Firestar. uh, let's see. What else? Mm, let's see. What else did we do? Let's see. The Evil Dead one was great.
Yes.
uh, mm,
I will say personally, one of my favorites that always stood out was Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, because
mm-hmm.
the first thing you hear, Planet Nico, they call him a cuckoo god,
Good God, like, like
a feather serpent god.
the feather, the feather serpent good. Like,
But definitely
oh
that's one
man.
of the ones that stick out. What else? I enjoyed when Aranya and I did Fast X. Um, some of the ones me and the missus done,
Hmm.
as bonuses. And the final girl herself is
There
finally in
she
the
is.
building. Hey, I'm here.
Finally, there she is.
There she goes, the final girl herself.
And pause for a second. Well, y'all can keep talking. I'm gonna have to get my headset because I can't hear.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, some of the ones Mrs. Ladybug and I did. Um I like her and I Dungeons and Dragons one. Jonathan, that poor man. That poor man bird. Uh
Jonathan.
I like our John Wick CCR.
Oh man,
I am Klaus.
I am close.
What else? What else was another CCR I liked? I definitely like when we talk about like our conventions and things like that. I like those too because
Yes,
those are
those
always
were
fun when
very,
we do
yeah.
our convention talk
And we're
and
showing
be
what
able
we
to let the
our
people know how
halls
we
and
feel
everything.
about. Yeah, so those are always fun too. Um, what else? What else? Yeah, I think that's about it. Like I said, we'll wait till Elon to show up and she will let us know, and then we could just start getting into it. You know what I'm saying? Start
Yeah.
chatting and talk about So, for those who did not know, we took a impromptu break with CCRs because of the whole writer strike and
Right.
the whole SAG after strike. Um, we wanted to be respectful, and we didn't want to do reviews while people wouldn't properly getting their monies and getting their credit and things like that. So it didn't
Exactly.
stop us from going to see movies. We just didn't review.
Right.
Uh, and boy, just letting you know, hey Hollywood. Y'all need to figure something out because the TV is struggling.
hmm Like supposedly they supposed to have a they sent a what Hollywood is calling their final and best offer, and
Yeah,
the unions are supposed to vote on it. I think today or tomorrow, and so and Deadline, uh, the movie place put out there that just let everybody know this is not their final and best offer unless the writers and the unions accept it. Because if it is their best offer, then it will be accepted. So,
mm,
uh, like, so we may be getting close to the end of this because they are like Warner Brothers put out there that they're already going to lose like 500 million because of the strike because they had to move movies
you
from
said
this
500
fall.
million or billion?
Million, 500
Oh,
million, because they had to move movies from this year to next year, like they did with Dune Part Two and some others. So it was like, hey, like, I think it was Adam Conover, who's one of the board members of the union.
uh,
From Adam Hates Everything, one of
mm.
the people in the negotiating room said, "You would already had that money back if you like, because our offer was less than half that." So, like,
Well, not even only that though, but it's like shout outs to studios like A24 who was like, all right, we'll
right,
comply, we'll do
right,
whatever needs to
everything
be
y'all
done.
want here. Like, we gonna continue to make our weird movies. Like, shit.
Can y'all hear
Like,
Which
me?
men,
yes.
what else? Men, what else? A24 movies y'all reviewed? Men, was it X
Uh,
A24?
yeah, the X films are A24.
Pearl. So those all in the
That
annals of our
that
history.
movie that just recently came out with the stone hand, I haven't seen. I don't know if Arania's seen it.
Oh no, not yet. When it comes on streaming, I'm gonna see it.
Yeah, because that looked
All right,
weird,
Deron,
but
since you here with us, you have a favorite CCR of ours? You fancy?
Probably the Evil Dead. With the you know.
mummies with the maggots now. Like,
And secondly, the Invitation. Remember the one movie with the lady on the plane?
the one
Yes, the
movie with
look
the
you
lady on the plane.
gave. But then no, I love the. I can't remember what movie y'all did and bosses over there.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, and I'm like, this. I'm like, oh no, what's that? Like,
What
I
is
was doing the
happening?
Napoleon Dynamite. Just
But yeah, so let's get into some of these movies that happened over the summer now. Whether all of
oh
us
no,
have
I
seen
can't
them
hear
or not,
anymore. Hold on, y'all.
uh, whether all of us have seen them or not, we still gonna just run down some films and run down some movies. Uh, we'll give y'all a spoiler warning to let y'all know if we're gonna go into spoilers or not. But
quickly though, do you
go ahead,
mind
go
if
ahead, go ahead.
I go first with Class Action Park?
All right,
Yeah,
hold
because
on.
this is gonna be real brief.
All right,
Yes.
so
So, if you do not know what this is, I'm gonna keep this real brief. This is about a water park that was in New Jersey that was prevalent throughout the late 70s and all through the 80s. It was called Class Action Park by Johnny Knoxville, and
okay,
most of the Jackass crew knew of this. Basically,
okay,
in the short summary, the way this park got started, the dude who started it got his money during the Wolf of Wall Street type shit, penny stocks,
okay,
selling fraud and stuff. Went out and bought some land in Vernon, New Jersey, that was going to be the next Orlando. They were trying to build it up as being this big Disney type place. And so he built this water park that had no regulation. What I mean by no regulation, the rides he designed himself. He built a water slide. No, 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 no. Like it's a documentary that's 90 minutes long. If you have HBO Max, please go watch it because when I tell you the absurdities, there was a water slide called the Cannonball Loop that was, them tube water slides. Imagine
hmm
one that had a roller coaster loop.
So there was lots of death and
Let me
okay,
finish this up.
paralyzation.
okay. Answer this question. Answer this question without going too far into it. How
Yes.
many people died?
That's what I'm saying.
In the course run of this water park, from what they mentioned in the documentary, I counted at least 10 to 12.
Damn.
Because
That's actually that's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
no, no, no. Because let me tell you about the cannonball loop before I get to this. The way you worked is they made it to where momentum took you down this loop, but when you got to the point, it looped you up. But the way they tested it, they would put dummies in there, like crash test dummies. And when they came out the other end, they would be in pieces. So the water
Oh
park
my
owner
God.
said, after enough tests of those, he was like, we need humans. So he got the teenagers who worked at the park and said, if you go in here, I'll give you $100. This is $100 in 1980s money. So it went a lot further then,
True.
especially to a
So
teenager.
equivalent to about $700.
You're right. And so, dude was in like, yeah, we went in there. People come out bloody, bruised. They said eventually people started coming out with lacerations. And they were like, where are the lacerations coming from? Because there's padding in the loop. Turns out they opened it up. People that would get up to the loop at the high point would lose their teeth and the teeth got stuck into the padding and it would scrape people as they were going. When
No.
I tell you,
Wait. Wait. Wait.
when he said that, I was looking like, wait a minute, ain't no way. But but then I started thinking, I was a dumb kid at one point. I'd have been like, I'm gonna go to this water park and I'd probably try a few of these rides. That wasn't the worst
No
one.
teeth.
That
No
wasn't the
teeth.
worst ones. There was a kayak river experience that had
Oh
because they
no.
didn't have any rip. They didn't have the machinery to generate whitewater rapids like kayaks. So they had these underwater
hmm
fans that would push the water. They were electric and not grounded.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
So
You
that
know
was
we
one of
have
the
a
first
problem.
tests. Somebody flipped out the kayak and was too close to a fan that had a short circuit and they electrocuted to death. They had the wave pool.
Ooh.
You've seen a wave. Every water park has a
Yeah.
wave pool.
Yeah.
Yes.
The waves were so rough and the water was so murky because people would get injured on other rides. And so there would be bodily fluid like blood, bowels, it just filling the park. And like every hour, the lifeguard, they had to call it the death guard station because they had to save 5 to 10 people from drowning. And they had to stop the wave pool every 10 or so minutes just to check and see what bodies were there because the water was too murky to see to the bottom.
So it was septic as well, is what you're saying. So even if
It
you
was
cut yourself, infection.
right. The first person that died in the wave pool, and one of the interviewers who was one of the park goers as a kid there was like, the first person that drowned in the wave pool, is you don't feel too bad for them. You feel more for the second person. Because if the first person dies, you shut the wave pool down.
Right.
Usually.
He said they
Usually.
didn't. They kept going. What made it worse is the owner, all the rides injured people. Every ride at this park injured people. So a lot of them killed people. The owner didn't like regulation from the government. New Jersey put a stop to the park, but he wouldn't pay, and he just kept filing lawsuit after lawsuit. So New Jersey gave up and said, "We ain't gonna find you no more." They stopped trying to control it. Eventually, they said he had to have insurance. So instead of him paying for insurance, he set up a fake insurance company in the Cayman Islands in his own name and said that was covering it. Anytime somebody ever tried to sue the park, he would take it to trial, and he had a 93 win success rate. He wouldn't pay nobody. Anytime he lost, he never paid anybody unless the U.S. Marshals came to collect from his doorstep.
Wow. It must be nice to have money.
Right.
Right?
So like if I when I tell you just the absurdities, and you look at some of these rides because they have footage and people talking about them. There were people riding. There was these you've seen bumper boats. There was the water
Yes.
park side, and then there was the go-kart side. You had to go across Highway 94, which is basically like I-10 here. So in the water, in the motor, in the they call this the motor pool side. There was bumper boats, but they were speed boats. They looked like Miami Vice speed boats. So in this pond, that the workers said was filled with oil and gasoline runoff because the boats were run on gasoline. Dead fish animals would float to the top. These boats would hit normally like 30 to 50 miles an hour. People would treat
Uh,
them like speed boats, and like bumper boats. And I'm sitting here like, what? That like you look at it, it's a point. So if you hit somebody, they would just go into this gasoline and oil water, and it would be. Mm.
Mm,
The
mm.
go-karts, they said were like they took off the restraints on them. They looked like Indy cars. And some people, like the patrons, were just like, I don't want to ride on the course. They would just off-road it and chase the staff. One person took them on the Highway 94 with the real cars because they could get up to 50 or 60 miles an hour. And it's like, where were the police in all this? Like, it
It was
got
the
so
80s.
bad. It got so bad. The city of Vernon said you can no longer use our ambulances because the ambulances will be so preoccupied at this park that the owner
Wow.
eventually set up his own ambulance service. And so when I tell
You know
you,
what? I can't. I
I was
can't.
watching
Mm-mm.
this just in horror and laughing because like Scoot, you will understand. You were a little boy at one point. You see something that looks like a theme park ride, if somebody tells you it's minor dangerous, I survive it. like,
I suppose. I suppose.
like,
I live.
No.
like in some of the
I will
worst things,
live.
they had like the Alpine slide. You know those Instagram videos of those like slides going down the countryside and stuff like that, like look like a bobsled. They
Yeah.
put you on a styrofoam looking mat, and they said the brakes on it that you had to steer with a brake steer was always broken. So you would hit like 70, 80 miles per hour going down this Alpine slide. If you didn't know how to
You're
adjust your
so
body, you would go flying off. And they said surrounding the The side were these boulders and rocks. And let me tell
Boulders. R.I.P. man. Just R.I.P.
they said they had this medical shack, which was just like a tool shed. They had a white circle in it, and anybody that had any kind of laceration, stab, cut, scrape, you had to stand
Damn.
in the white circle. And the medical staff, which was not a nurse or it was just a teenager, they had this bottle of orange solution that they believed was just mixed with alcohol and iodine. And so they sprayed that on your wounds. And they said anybody that could stay within inside that circle would get a prize. And the person that was in that shake said they treated thousands of people, and they could recall maybe two didn't leave that circle because of the pain that that solution would cause. I tell you, this shit was wild.
So, okay, because I was having some technical difficulties, I missed
Mhm.
the very beginning. Is this person in jail that created these things, or
Never went to jail, never paid a fine. Well, he paid some lawsuit money because he lost some and the marshals came to collect. He died of old age in 2012. The park was eventually shut down and rebought by one of the former workers. I don't know if it's still working, but yeah, he never went to jail. Never, nothing ever bad ever happened to him. Nothing bad ever happened to him.
It sounds like a
in my
win-win to me.
head, I hope that when he went of old age, that his overall punishment in life was to relive that park, constantly riding the rides, losing teeth, scratching himself on teeth, falling in septic pools and oil and gas. That's what I hope.
Right.
That's what I hope for him. You know, uh, he
Oh,
That's wild.
it like
That's
please.
wild.
like I didn't even touch on some of the more crazy stuff, but like yeah, if you have HBO Max, it's 90 minutes. Just go watch it because yeah, this is like part of
The
this
fact that
whole
they fit
part.
all of that in that time frame is crazy.
Like they had people that worked there, people that were guests there, like they're talking about everything. They were like the teenagers that worked there, like the way the promotions worked. If you worked there, they were like they had people that were 14, 15 in managing positions, just managing parts of the park. They said if you had worked there, like you started there with like 13, 14, once you got your work papers, they were like, oh, you've been here for 2 years already. Yeah, you can manage this part of the park. What? Say
A
what?
kid.
A
Man it.
child.
Man it.
So you like, I need to speak to the manager. And then some kid comes over and you like, this, I'm finna leave. I'm done.
Like
I'm done with
they
this.
had like y'all went to Astroworld. Y'all remember Thunder River?
Hmm.
They had
Hmm.
their version, except theirs was designed because the dude who owned it designed the rides, remember? So nobody with an engineering degree had designed any of these rides. Because Six Flags and Disney people would not work for these people. They
Right.
So he designed his own river tube that eventually the tubes would get stuck at certain parts of the ride, and people would have to get out and push them along.
Okay, okay. So help
I
me
wish a
understand this
motherfucker
because
would.
because I do think I might go watch this at some point, but help me understand. What kept making people go back?
It was the 80s. Like that was the main thing, because like the people that were going and working there said these were the generations of kids that were the first latchkey kids, the
Mhm.
generations where divorce took off, and so they were like, I'm living with my dad, I'm living with my mom. This was this area of New Jersey where like most people didn't have nothing to do. Teenagers just wanting to go out and
Mm,
do stuff. And so like you gotta remember there wasn't a whole lot to do inside the house. So you went to a water park. Just that was the reason they kept going back. And so one of the people was like, his parents wouldn't allow him to go, but because his dad was going through a divorce, the family down the street was offering to take them for free. And he was like he couldn't look like you getting that kind of thing with a child. It's like, just go. And it was just like he was like, just please. He said he remembers his dad to this day saying, please, please, just make smart choices.
How can you? The whole park is full of dumb choices,
Right.
dumb ways
Right,
to die.
right.
Y'all ever seen the trapeze thing at a water park? They had one called the
No.
Tarzan swing. They had a balcony. It was like a circular balcony with a pool that you looked over. And so people would swing. And if you came up injured, the people that would watch it would just call you pussy and just berate you because this was Jersey. Why are you coming up injured? Like, like that's
I'm
not
not
the worst
Iron
part.
Man.
That's not the worst part. The pool where this was supplied by a spring. So the water would be 50 and 60 degrees. So it was ice cold when you hit it in the middle of the summer. And so they said a lot of people would get hypothermia, would just
Of
instantly get
course.
the shock from the cold water,
Of
forget
course.
how to swim. And so they just, some people just would, and like they didn't have no regulation. So some people would swing where people were still down there and they would get
And
landed
fall
on.
on their head. Yep.
Right.
This is a DARE program learning moment.
there
Look
was
before
one
you leap.
there was one water slide that had like levels. So it starts you up here and it came down. You go like this, and then it would flat out and then go down some more. If you hit it with enough speed, they said what like they tested with a lot of people, a lot of teenagers. They were like some teenagers would just do like how see how fast they could get, and nobody really ever got hurt. You know, like a couple bruises and that until one kid got enough speed to where on the second slope he was 20 some feet in the air before he landed. What- Like I was watching this last night in just amazement. Like
Oh no. Oh my
Did he
God.
live?
he lived.
Was he in the chair?
They said he landed flat on on his chest, and he didn't get up for a while.
He didn't. He saw Jesus. What do you mean he didn't get up? Of course not.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Mm-mm.
like,
Mm-mm.
like,
Mm-mm.
just
Mm-mm.
if you find yourself for 90 minutes, watch it because because they have footage of each and every ride, and you look at it, you like, it doesn't look that bad until you look at it, until you stare at it, and you're like, oh, that's horrifying.
Yeah, something ain't right there.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm legit crying.
Wow.
Uh-uh.
Wow.
Like y'all
Oh
see
my
the last one I'm gonna say.
God.
Y'all seen the tall water slides that you just have to go like this down?
Yeah.
Theirs was so steep that there was a 20-foot net to keep you from flying off of it at the very top. But the pool it was so shallow at the bottom that
Oh
when you got
no.
down there, it either you didn't have enough time to like to stop, but they said everybody that rode this ride got up walking funny because the water would just shoot up your ass. They said
No.
So did the
because
man graduate high school?
these were kids in high school.
No, the man that made the rise, did he graduate high school? Like no physics, no math, just
I don't know. He made his money doing the Wolf of Wall Street fraud shit in the stock market with a buddy of his, and so he went and bought up two ski resorts and combined them. And but he realized his ski resorts wasn't making money in the summer, so he was like, "I'm gonna turn it into a water park." Just-
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. The thing is, when I watch documentaries like this, it's so wild because a lot of them really do be some people who just sit there, huh, I want to make a water park. You have any engineering or architectural? Nah,
nope.
no,
nah, not at all. I'm just a man who used to build Legos and erector sets back in
let
the day. I
let me
think I
tell
can
you.
do this.
Let me tell you about one of the times one of the workers talked about like how he had an idea because people would ride the ski lift thing. Like you know how Asteroid had that little
Yeah.
Apple cart thing that would take you across to the other park. So
Mm,
his was a ski lift like bench that would take you over some of the rides to the other side. Some people would drop their ride instruments onto the alpine track where people were riding down. They would just get hit in the head by falling carts because kids being kids. But he was like, people are riding the lift without tickets. And so he said, I have devised a way to get people to stop riding without tickets. I'm gonna need one of them backroom teenagers, one of the ugly ones. This was a quote. He said one of the ugly ones to stand by the lift with a cattle prod. And if they don't get on, and if they don't have a ticket, hit them with a cattle prod. Next thing you know, they showed a newspaper clip of somebody reporting it because they thought somebody died at the lift. But get hit with electricity.
What? But why the child have to be ugly? Like that's what
What? That should be a detail.
Right. Like he
why
said,
do you
like,
get a pretty child to do it? That way people are lured to the pretty child and why has to be an ugly child? Like I'm confused.
I tell you, like every time they was talking about something, like I was watching it, and then some of the people that were like that were guests there, they was like, yeah, it was just a part of the time. It was like, and if you didn't like it, that's Jersey. It's like what? No,
Gangster.
no.
I mean the 80s,
All right.
you know?
Well, Class Action Park. If you got Max, I think I'm gonna have to check this out myself.
Look, man.
Uh, cause this sounds just hilarious and
Preposterous.
scary. All this is gonna take you through a whole whirlwind of emotion watching this.
But like, look,
I
Oh,
mean,
after what they said about some of these rides, I look at them like the one with the loop. And if I had not known about any of this and I was a kid, I'd be like, I want to ride that. Like you just look at it. Just-
paralyzed from the chest down.
yep. Uh,
it's
another movie that came out during the summer that we didn't get a chance to discuss. I still haven't saw it, but the other two ninjas saw it. Let's talk
mm.
about good old Barbie.
Oh man.
Barbie.
Uh, now if y'all want to go into spoiler territory, that's up to y'all. Or if y'all want to just give y'all overview thoughts of the movie, I'll let y'all take it away.
I guess
Um
it'll probably be a little of both to be fair. I mean,
Good.
if you haven't seen it by now, like, you know.
Go.
I
Mhm.
like the quick summarization for me, one of the three best films I've seen this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
It was really good.
it
It
was really good.
I see a
Like
lot of people arguing that this isn't a child's movie and
Well,
da,
what
da,
the
and I'm
PG
like,
13?
yeah. And that's why I'm
So
like, first of all, it's PG-13. Second of all, I don't know what era your children live in, but if this was the 80s, then okay, fine. But have you seen what's on TV lately? I don't understand why it's not a child's movie and an adult movie.
right. And like
especially that
and
other part. What's on TV lately?
right. And
Yeah.
I don't understand where you got the idea that this was supposed to be a child's movie anyway.
The name.
I,
That's it.
Like
They saw Barbie
that's
and
I
it was
understand
an
that,
assumption.
but like
That's
I
it.
look
but
at it like so.
at the same time, I need for you to read and do your research too, because
Right,
I'm not a mom. You know what I'm saying? But if I was taking somebody's kids to the movies and they said, "Oh, I want to see blah blah blah," my mom didn't just let me go see whatever. She did some research on it and was like, "Oh, all right, well, okay." So I need you to do a little research. All you
right,
lazy people, they're just like, "Oh, it says Barbie, so it's just a Barbie movie.
No,
It's
right.
I'm
not a
telling
cartoon."
you. I'm telling you. They saw the name Barbie and automatically associated it the fact that
But
it's
they're
the
idiots.
Yes,
I agree.
right.
Idiots.
Like because it's the same situation with Sausage Party. Parents
Yep.
saw an animated movie and took
Yep.
their kids anyway.
Well,
Next thing
no,
you know, it
Nico.
was at war
Nico said
scene.
the same thing with Strays. Nico on one of his streams had said that when he went to go see Strays, there was little kids in there. And he was like, "I don't think you know what you took your child to go see."
Which is ridiculous because on the preview of Strays, he was like, "We're gonna go back and bite him in the dick."
Right,
How
like
is
Yeah.
that
bite
a
his dick
kid
off.
movie?
Or like how you saw dogs taking drugs and getting high. Like, what part did you think this was a kids movie?
Because
Like,
it's
They
animated.
saw
There's lots of
dogs.
animated things,
They saw dogs, and they saw talking dogs, and it was like, "Oh, this must be for the kiddos."
you know what? You know what?
but again,
I
that's what's
think
wrong.
I don't think these people have seen the trailer. I think they still get their movie times from the newspaper, and they just go up to the
Or
theater and
movie
look at the
phone.
poster. Just look at a movie poster. Oh, that looks like talking animals. Let's go see that. Like
It
no,
just makes no sense. It's like, are you kidding? Like you're not even trying at this point. Why did you have kids? Because you obviously didn't want to raise them. You just wanted to have them because they were cute. Because literally you did no research, and that's your fault.
Um, from the movie, like I said, I still haven't seen it yet. Do y'all see sequels, or was it kind of a one and done situation?
it's I could see a sequel.
Yeah,
Yeah, but if they left it at this one movie, I wouldn't be surprised either.
right,
Like
Okay.
right.
like
I
yeah.
I feel like they nailed the points of the whole Barbie theory really
Mhm.
well in one movie, if that makes
Right.
Okay.
any sense. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
so we get it. You know what I mean? Like it was a film more or less about how the world views men and women's roles, you
Yeah.
know, and how everybody is trained to look at something in a certain way and how that's not realistic. Honestly,
Right.
that's just to me, that's what it was about.
Right.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed that because it was it was refreshing to see something like that actually because we are especially like I'm I'm barely an 80s baby. I was conceived in the 70s. But you grow up and you have these forms of what beauty is supposed to be, these standards,
Mhm.
and you don't nobody ever tells you you have to look like Barbie or whatever, but you have what you have to play with. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And as a
Yeah.
little girl, I've told y'all 1,000 times, I had a white Barbie and I had a super black African Barbie. There were no Barbies that looked like me, you know? And that's it. And I was like this, yay. And they all played together and it was what it was, until I started cutting their hair off and coloring it different colors and stuff. Don't start judging me and bleaching their skin. Anyway, but at the end of the day, little girls for generations have been looking at this one iconic figure and what she was supposed to represent. And that's just not it. That's not where
Especially
women
with
are.
that
That's
black
And
not where it is.
and the movie pointed that out so well because in the very beginning they threw it back to Space Odyssey with the opening with little girls playing with them ugly haunted dolls from pre-Barbie years. And then Barbie came on the scene and they was like, fuck this. Like,
Right. Oh, she's pretty. She's always standing on her toes. Is she
right,
reasonable? No, she's always standing on her toes. Her dimensions are weird. She would probably fall over. Head is kind
right,
of big. I mean, now, of course, they have all these different variations of Barbie, short,
Yeah.
tall, plus size, super skinny, short hair, natural hair, whatever. But back then, like I said what I said. I had a white Barbie and a super black Barbie. That's it. That's what you get. Unless you start talking about her homegirl Christy or Rebecca or Samantha or whoever, you know. I appreciated the canceled kind of Barbies, like pregnant Barbie and all of those being
Midge. When she when they showed Midge and she had her own little hut, I'm like, wait a minute. They later we don't talk about Midge. And Midge is over there just
I love it because I remember those Barbies and I didn't think anything was wrong with them. The pregnant Barbie. I was like, oh, she had a little belly because I had one. She had a little belly and there was a tiny baby in there. And then she had like a hospital gown. And then you just pop the belly off and the baby was in there. And I was like, this, my Barbie had a baby. I didn't know. They smooth. I didn't know what was supposed to happen.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I mean, and,
If it
and I
whatever streaming
appreciate,
service it's gonna come to, I'll definitely check it out when it comes to most likely be Max because it was Warner Brothers.
yeah,
But yeah, whenever it drops on Max, I'll definitely be checking it out. Before
yeah,
we get off of Barbie, how did the cast do? How was Margot, Ryan,
oh, they
Will,
all killed it.
everybody?
Everybody killed it.
Okay.
loved it.
Including Michael
Our
Cera as
doctor.
Alan. Michael Cera as
Oh my
Alan.
God.
Oh my like
He was spectacular.
the other Barbie boyfriend, Alan. I don't know, he might have been somebody else other than her boyfriend, but Alan,
Yeah.
hilarious every time he was on the screen.
Hilarious. And our doctor.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, let's not forget. Yeah,
Okay,
every
well,
adoration of Ken and Alan. Well, there was only one Alan, but every iteration of Ken was great. Like the people that work for Mattel, shout out, and I meant to say this before, shout out to that movie because y'all don't watch Sex Education. However, there were quite a few people, including one of the Barbies, someone who worked for Mattel, along with our doctor, who all starred in Sex Education, and I was so happy to see them in something else as well, and an American film at that. Shout out to
Right.
them.
okay. Well, when Barbie came out, it also came out with another movie.
Hmm.
Only one ninja saw this movie because I
Yep.
knew this was going to be sleep inducing.
You know,
Now, from my understanding, everybody who talks about this movie raves about it.
uh-huh.
So, boss, why don't you regale us with your thoughts on good old Robert J. Oppenheimer?
Another probably I'd say one of the best films I saw this year. Better than Barbie? No. No. I had more fun than Barbie, but this movie was Oppenheimer was a spectacle. Like it's a
Sleep
story that
inducing.
most anybody who knows history knows what the end result will be, but also
See, that was one of the main reasons why I was like, he succeeded. The ball was made. Why did I
right.
need to go see
But
the
like,
movie?
but seeing his story of how he learned what he learned, how he got into the positions he was in, and the trials that they had to go through to make the bomb when they let it off, because they let off a real nuke in the movie. And basically what happened after, and seeing like who his character was, who he was as a person, it was a great watch. Like just a magnificent movie. Um, 3 hours. I don't like 3+ hours long.
Ooh, child.
Um,
That's a lot of dialogue.
yeah, there's not
Whispering.
there's no action scenes other than the nuke going off.
Wait,
So
wait, wait,
Nope.
wait, 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 wait. You telling me in a 3 hour movie, nobody even takes a punch? Nobody gets swinged on or nothing?
there's
Swinged
some
on,
shoving.
swung on or nothing?
There's some shoving. Robert Downey Jr. played a great villain. Um, like it.
Not a single punch was thrown in this whole movie.
No,
Do
no
we
punches.
do we even get a hey, you know what? Fuck you. Do we even get that in the movie?
From the women. Like when they when they got upset with the men, or they were like, oh, like fuck, like they were like, oh, they let them have it. But yeah, this was more just like this was more like a Quentin Tarantino dialogue without the action.
Well, see, I can deal with Quentin Tarantino dialogue because those conversations be intriguing.
That
This looked
that's
like it was just gonna be just
no, this was a
sleep inducing.
whole lot of intriguing conversations of them talking about the logistics, the math, the science, and everything about the bomb when it got to that point, and then after that point, the fallout essentially from them creating this bomb did to the world, and essentially throughout the whole movie, that was also a underlying point and tone. Like
Mhm.
you're doing this is essentially going to change the world. Essentially, you are the new Prometheus. You are giving
Yeah.
them the means to kill themselves and the rest of the world at the same time. And so, like, do you think humans are ready for that responsibility? And basically, because all this came up in the World War II era. Prior to that, this was during the McCarthy era. So everybody was getting accused as a communist and all this, that, and the other. And everything after that, like, innocent people went to jail, banished, sent
Mhm.
to other countries, and all this and that and the other. So it's a whole lot of intriguing conversations. So if you're expecting action, don't don't. Uh, it might not be the movie for you, but yeah, one of the best movies I've seen this year. I enjoyed it.
Okay. All right. yeah, it just from the trailers, from the tone, it just seemed like I'm gonna just be sitting up there like, and then I'm gonna tell you what was
And it
gonna
don't have
happen.
no subtitles. I need subtitles. No.
well,
This is
see, the
a
thing
horror
is,
movie.
I know.
No, because I might miss something. And sometimes people whisper and I can't hear you. It's mumbly. Nope. And that's too much conversation for you to miss shit. Because then I'm gonna miss the point. I'm gonna be like, wait, what happened? Now I'm lost and I'm
But see,
behind.
and not only that, I feel myself that I know I'm a doze off, and then that bomb gonna go off. I'm like, oh shit, huh? Oh, okay. Whew.
like like
I'd probably sleep through the
Sound like
bomb.
they
I'd be
getting it
like,
done.
when they were getting ready to test that bomb, because here's the thing, the government told them, they told the government they needed a good, if I remember right, 6 to 8 more weeks of building and theorizing. The government
Yeah,
said we got about two. They wanted it now. They were tired of waiting. And so when they were getting ready to let that bomb go off, they were nervous as hell. Plus, they were too damn close to it, in my opinion. So, like, but yeah, man, it was a great movie.
yeah. And like I said,
we'll take your
everybody
word
who
for
I
it.
heard talk about it, they all give it rave reviews. But I know my personality. In order for me to see Oppenheimer, I will have to be at home, and this will be in my hand the whole time.
Hmm.
Yep.
Either that, or I'm playing PlayStation while I'm watching it. And because otherwise, I know I couldn't be at the theaters to pay attention to a 3 hour plus movie of this. I know I couldn't,
Of people
personally
whispering.
speaking. But
Yeah.
we appreciate you. That's the beauty of these Car Chronicles reviews, because you have three ninjas with three distinct personalities. And if somebody wants to go see something like Oppenheimer, there you go. We'll try our best to
You
cover
don't
the
have to.
gambit.
You don't have to make the thumb that small around you. Like you can bend it a little bit. You can give me that short little low hobbit thumb. Like you can.
Hey, at least it wasn't a thumbs down. Hey, the cup is half full.
Speaking of a send off, in a sense, we finally got our final Indiana Jones film.
Hmm.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Boss, did you see it?
I did.
Aranya, did you? Okay, by that face, I'm gonna say no.
Hold on, y'all.
Okay. Um, Personally speaking, I based this movie on a curve because
Hmm.
it is the final Indiana Jones movie, but I did not like it. Really, it was kind of boring to your boy. And the
Okay.
only reason why I kind of celebrate it in a sense, or champion it in a sense, is because it's the final one,
Hmm.
and it was meant as a send off. But yeah, I wasn't. I don't
I
know.
would
It
say.
was something
I
about
would
it
say
that I
this.
just
I would
wasn't
say,
rocking with.
is it gonna be the final one? No. I
I
think
hope so.
they'll come back and they'll find a way. They'll probably recast him to hell and make a young Indiana Jones movie.
Now, I did say that to certain people. Now, people who I did talk to about the movie, I did say, now I don't see sequels, but if they want to do young Indiana Jones, I can see that.
Hmm.
I can see them doing young Indy.
Like they just at this point they need to reboot it, cast somebody younger. Um, but did I find it boring? No.
Yeah,
Is
I
it the
was.
worst Indiana Jones movie? No.
It's
Uh,
it's not worse than Crystal Skull, but it's right
no.
above it.
Mm,
I put the other three Indiana movies above this one for sure.
my ranking, it's below Temple of Doom and below Raiders.
Okay.
It's above Crystal Skull. Last Crusade. I don't watch Last Crusade as often as the others.
Okay.
I I don't find it as entertaining as the others. So I
Now,
would say it's right there alongside Crystal Last Crusade. I can't say it's above it. I can't say it's below it.
I will also say this too. I don't know how you felt, but Jesus Herbert Christ, his goddaughter, she
Mhm.
was irritating as fuck.
Wait a
I,
minute.
I ain't look, hey, Aronia, you know how you feel about kids in movies? She was no better. She was no
Really?
better to me.
Wasn't
She
she an
Really?
adult?
She was
yes,
an
she
adult,
was no
yes.
better. But her so for what she wanted to do and how she wanted to accomplish it, it was like, girl, if you don't sit your ass down somewhere just for 2 seconds and listen, she was irritating. She was irritating. I told you, I wasn't like I said, I'm watching this movie and I'm sitting there just like, get her off the screen, please.
I don't feel the same way. She didn't irritate me. Um like it I understood her motivations and I understood the way she was. She was more like a young Indiana Jones in her mannerisms. Like
Don't
that's
you put that voodoo, don't you put
that's
that
what
on
her
her.
character was. Like
Don't
that's
you
what
don't
it
you
was.
don't you
Like
give her that much credit. Do not
right.
do we ain't doing that.
That's what her character was. Like now, mm, I'll say this: the
Even the
villains
kid
were
that was in the
lackluster.
movie was more tolerable than her.
The villains were lackluster, whether
Yeah,
that be Mads Mikkelsen's Doctor villain or the Corinthian. I forget his
yeah,
name, but
yeah.
and something about him. He plays the same kind of character and everything now. But that's neither here nor
Who?
there. The guy that played the Corinthian
Who?
in the Netflix show, I forget his real name. Um, did any of you either of you see the Sandman Netflix show?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
You remember the
Yeah.
Corinthian? Yeah, him,
Nope.
that
Hold
actor.
on. Man.
You talking about the one that played the CIA agent, right? Or the
The CIA agent henchman slash
yeah,
henchman slash
yeah,
goon
yeah, him,
slash
yeah,
dummy. Yeah.
yes. Now I will say this: I feel bad for a person like Mads Mikkelsen because he gonna always be cast as the villain because he just has such a villain face.
He does have a villain face.
So I feel bad for somebody like him because he might want to be like, damn, I want to be a love interest, or I might want to be in a rom com. Nah, my G,
Like,
you a Nazi villain.
here's
You
the
gonna
thing.
be a
I've
Nazi
seen him
villain
in a bunch of movies. I only remember seeing him as the hero in like two. Like,
because he gonna always be like. Anytime you see, anytime you watch a trailer to anything and you see his face, villain,
he is
you
a
gonna
serial
automatically
killer.
assume he's the
That,
bad guy.
that is a serial
And which
killer.
guy are we talking about for this?
Mad
Mads
Mickelson,
Mikkelsen.
What's the first name?
Mad.
Mad.
Mads.
You've seen the face. Mads.
He
Mads Mikkelsen.
he is
You've
Eastern
seen it.
Oh yeah, he's always gonna be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's always gonna
Yeah,
be a
he's
bad guy.
always.
But
Yeah,
like I
because
said,
he's like
I
this, and
grade
he's
this
like,
one
With
exactly.
the
So
big
like I said, I
cheekbones. Yep.
grade this one. I graded on a curve because I know it's supposed to be Harrison Ford's last one. I mean, they gave him a proper send off. I was cool with all that. And I can even see why they made the movie. In all honesty, maybe if this movie didn't come out in 2023, I would probably felt differently. Maybe if it would have came out in 2018, 2016, 15.
It needed to come out shortly after Crystal Skull, like 2 to 3
Because what
years
Crystal
after
Skull was
Crystal
what,
Skull.
07, 08?
Around that time, yeah.
If this was like
So
2010, 2011, 2012, I would have been perfectly fine with this.
right.
But
Another thing, the one major thing I didn't like about this, them retconning Crystal Skull. I did not like that.
oh,
Spoiler alert.
so yeah, spoiler
Spoiler
alert,
alert.
around you. They
I'm gonna give it.
killed Shia's character.
They killed Mutt Williams from Crystal Skulls. Um,
Let me tell
Apparently,
y'all something. You what? 2007? You said?
yeah,
Yeah.
I know. But
Okay. All right.
apparently he had a falling out with Mutt. So in retaliation, now listen to this. In retaliation of Mutt and him falling out, Mutt was like, "I'm gonna go fight in the war then," and he
Let
died
that,
fighting
let
in the
that,
war.
let that sink in. A greaser who despised the government and all establishment was like, to hurt my daddy, I'm gonna go join the military and fight in a war.
And he died in said war.
And he died in said war.
So he was a clone.
So,
It makes
And that's
sense.
how they
It makes no
retconned
sense.
Crystal Skull by
now,
killing him.
so like, although I could see them like coming out and be like, "Oh no, he didn't die." In the next one, he didn't die. He was pulled into Secret Service duty or some like secret agent shit. But then you're just gonna be like, "Okay, now y'all just getting stupid."
Exactly.
Now here we go.
Right?
Y'all on the fast X line of
Hey,
he
hey, hey,
didn't
hey,
die.
hey, 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 hey. We did not besmirch Fast and Furious movies around these parts, okay?
There was
Not while
no
I'm here.
besmirchment. That was facts.
Oh,
And
oh,
you
okay. I was about
said
to say, not
that
while I'm here.
yourself.
They're like, "Oh, this person
Look,
got
there
a
was no besmirchment.
skyscraper fell on them. Oh, but they lived because they jumped down into a sewer manhole at the last second." Motherfucker.
And their legs were not broken.
But yeah, so and ultimately they were looking for this device that could make them go back in time.
Hmm.
And basically, Mad's character, he was a doctor, he was a scientist
For the
serving
Nazis.
under Hitler, and he was basically trying to let Hitler know, "Hey, fam, you fucking up, you making mistakes.
No, no, no,
Let me
no.
help
Remember,
you."
he was like, "No, no." He like the problem, the reason that we won, that we lost the war is because of Hitler. He was
Yeah,
gonna go back and kill him and take
yeah,
his
he will go back
place.
and kill him so that way he can
He could
basically
lead
take
them
over.
into better futures. But
Yeah,
the dial, it predicted with time and math where wormholes would open into the past and future.
yeah,
So
Hmm.
and when, in the climax in the third act, when they were about to go through one, they had Indy on this plane. Indy was like, "Oh, the stars changed, this, that, and the other, and the continent shift. You did your math wrong, partner. We ain't going back to the 40s." Like, and
now
he
they
was
went all
like,
the way back.
right, he was looking at it like, he can't be right. I did the math correct. And he started staring at that wormhole as they were getting closer. And he was like, "Turn around, stop it." Because he was like, he was too scared at that point, but they went through. Next thing you know, they in the times of Sparta.
Yeah,
Oh, wait,
and look,
wait.
and look, and look. Let me
That's
tell
my
you what
kind of
made that
math.
so funny. Let me tell you why they made that so funny. So they crash and they meet what was his name?
Oh, the dude who made it, Archimedes.
Archimedes. They meet Archimedes and everything. And this what made it kind of funny, even though it wasn't supposed to be funny. This what made it kind of funny. It made me channel the inner lethal weapon. So at this point, Indy got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Indy was like, "Hey, I'm too old for this shit, fam. I'ma just stay." He
Staying
just
in these times. Let's also talk about the fact when they came back to this time, a giant World War II plane flying around shooting bullets. And these people that are down here having wars with swords and shields and bows and arrows,
And
looking
spears.
at this shit,
Mhm.
not necessarily freaking out, but just calling it a dragon.
yeah,
Nobody was
yeah,
phased about these two planes in the times of sword and shield warfare, freaking out. Like,
yes.
A
And then
dragon.
And then his goddaughter, which I can't remember her name in the movie, she was like, "If you don't get your old ass up, you ain't staying here."
right. Indy was dead set on staying in this time period and just dying because he thought he didn't have anything to live for because his son was gone, his Mary and his wife had left him. And so he turned to look for what he turned back around and look at her. She was like, "All right," knocked his
Yeah, she
ass
just.
out, drug him back to the future.
And then of course, to wrap it up in a nice little pretty bow, who does Indy see when he really first wakes up? Marion. It
Mary,
was like,
they
okay,
brought Marion back.
fine, fine.
They
I
gave
can deal
them.
with this. This is supposed to be the final one. I can live with the whole let's wrap it all up in a nice, pretty bow.
Hmm.
But like I said, it was okay. If I had to give it a rating, a solid 7.
I'll say that 7.
I'm giving it a solid 7. And like I said, I'm grading on the fact that this is supposed to be the final Indiana Jones. But and then even when they did the scenes of him de-aging him, it looked like a digital Harrison Ford face on somebody's body.
I'll say this though, it was better than most other de aging scenes we've seen in TV shows and movies.
I give you that too.
It
I
was a
give you that
lot
one too.
better
I
because
give you that one
we
too.
had seen some atrocious de aging and shit.
I will give you that too.
So, like, I give them that. It was a lot better than most others.
All right, well, that was Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny, and let's go on to the TV side of things with a sleeper hit that came out of no. Well, it kind of came out of nowhere, but we knew it was coming. Let's go ahead and discuss Twisted Metal.
Mm,
Now, when they first announced this was going to be a TV show, gamers worldwide kind of groaned.
very much so.
Then when they was like, okay, it's going to be a Peacock show, it was like, uh-oh.
Hmm.
Then when they kind of announced the cast, it was like, maybe.
Mm.
Then when they gave the teaser of Sweet Tooth or Samoa Joe / Will Arnett starring as Sweet Tooth, Anthony Mackie starring as John Doe. And when they gave the teaser scene of them in Vegas, it was like, what the fuck is this show?
Dogs and cats raining down. The world is ended. This show is done. That was
Then
my
when it came out, I decided to press play because it was on the good old Peacock. I decided to press play. And as I'm watching through the show, and I'm thinking to myself, huh, this is a pretty good fucking show. I am mad at the fact of how good this goddamn show.
This show is a case study of piss poor advertising.
Yeah,
You this show, they did not advertise what they needed to advertise. This show was about like this for what? Because we all saw that scene clip, and we all saw that in our various group chats. That we all decided at that point that show was gonna be booty. Like I
straight
mean,
cheeks
with
and
a
not the
hair
good
and a
kind.
nipple on each cheek, just nasty, horrible show. And like we watched that, and I finished it in like 2 days. Like
Yeah, I finished it in a 24-hour cycle.
like
Uh,
it was that
Even though
show.
Aranya hasn't watched it because she has two reservations. One being she hadn't played the games,
Mhm.
and the biggest one, Anthony Mackie, which I don't know what she got beef with Falcon. Falcon ain't ever done nothing to her. But
What's she gonna
watch
do
the
when the
show.
new Captain America movie come out? Like,
Gonna be look.
Do like this
Even
the
though she
whole
probably
movie.
gonna watch it with us, but she probably gonna be making that face the whole time.
hmm
She gonna be making that face the whole time. Every time
Yeah.
Falcon comes on the screen, her face gonna be stuck like that.
that's the reason why she hasn't watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is it?
Yeah. Well, no. Well, see, this is the thing.
Hmm.
She will probably tolerate that because Sebastian Stan.
Hmm.
See, she got
I wouldn't
Bucky.
even tolerate it because of him. And I love me some Bucky,
Damn,
but I can't.
damn.
I can't. No.
But
No.
surprisingly good show. Watch it. I don't know when season 2 is supposed to happen. I hope it happens. I know with the writer strike and everything, but check it out.
Right. If you
Samoa
love the
Joe,
games, it holds up. There are so many
yes.
mentions to the game.
Samoa Joe and Will
So many.
Arnett kills it as some Sweet Tooth. John Doe, Anthony Mackie, even though it was comedic, I can appreciate it. Stephanie Beatrice from Brooklyn Nine-Nine fame, amazing. Nev Campbell, she really does give off that I can play a villain vibe. That especially
She
that
does a
type of
great.
villain.
She does a great Raven. Like every driver from the game that had a part in this show was amazing, and basically every major character from this show, most of them were a driver in the games, whether that be 1 through 4 or black, somewhere in there. Like they
Thomas
were
Hayden
all
Church
like
killed it. Like I said, the show is amazing. Check it out.
great.
Watch it. They're only 30-minute episodes. I think it was 10 of them.
About 10 of them.
So watch it. It's definitely worth it. Now, another movie that Aranya can fix her face finally. This one was another movie that I anticipated. And when they finally gave it a release date, I didn't watch it day one, but boy, when I watched it, I was entertained as hell throughout this whole movie. And the one is, I think they cloned Tyrone.
This
Clone.
oh that movie. It's
Look
in the
here.
damn chicken.
Look here. John Boyega, Tanara Paris, Jamie Foxx. Oh my God. That was a trio that I did not think I needed.
Man, that
I
Kiefer
mean, you know
Sutherland
what? To
too.
be honest
Like
with you,
this is a great
John
movie.
Boyega's Fontaine was just amazing.
Right. Oh man. Like this it's it was a great movie. Like it was original. It was funny. It had a great story. It it was just a good movie, man. Like this.
Even though
Oh,
he was getting a bunch of flack and hate, but
oh
people
man.
could be
What
haters.
up, Keys?
What up,
Hey,
G's?
G. I still think as a story, it was mid. As a movie, it was hilarious. The story did not sell it like that for me.
Okay.
Like I was just
Understandable.
like, oh. But I thought the chemistry between the characters was hilarious. It was good. It was a good watch. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But like the story for me was kind of like mid.
Yeah. Understandable. Understandable. Um, I can appreciate the story. I can appreciate what they was trying to do. I just thought overall that it was just a pretty good movie.
Hmm.
I would have went to theaters and saw this if it was a theater movie. I would have
Yeah.
went and saw it, support. But the moments that made me laugh, most of them, think like 90% of them all came from Jamie Foxx. Cause him
Oh
Everyone.
playing the
yeah.
pimp, oh
Everyone.
my God. I'm telling you,
Definitely.
that one scene when spoilers, when Tane showed back up and he was like, he was like, whoa, no, 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 no. What did I do? What did I smoke? It is no way Tane is right here. Tane is right here in front of me, right?
And he was looking at it. He was like, like, no,
He
you
was
ain't
like,
supposed to
I
be here.
just seen them brothers kill you last night. How are you right here? And then of course, J. Alphonse Nichols kept calling him Lazarus. He was like, I don't know how you feel right now, Lazarus.
Yeah.
And then of course, I just love when they went down underground and just how black it got. Yeah, baby,
Very.
we down here in the underground, you know what I'm saying? Come pull up on your boy right quick. Just, just
Oh,
ignorant, just ignorance. But I enjoyed it.
Would this be labeled a sci-fi comedy?
I
yeah.
think so.
Hmm.
Okay.
I
Just
think it
curious.
will
You know
be.
me. I like to know. I'm like,
Um, but yeah, any closing remarks y'all got for they clone Tyrone before we
All the people involved, from the writers and the director, I can't wait to see what they do next because this was essentially, I don't want to say low budget, but like, it didn't have a whole lot of backing. Let's say that. So
no, it
I would
didn't.
love to see what they could do with a bigger opportunity.
I agree. I agree.
Um now the next property, I'm ashamed to say this myself. I did
Hmm.
not finish. I don't know if Aronia did, and I think Boss might be the only one. Um, this was this was sleep inducing for me, and I hate saying it about it because who starred in it, but
I think I know what's coming. Hmm.
I didn't see any of it, so there's that. But but before I am crucified,
Hmm.
remember parental one in the hospital, then parental two in the hospital, then parental two in the hospital again. I missed a lot of
Ryan,
stuff. Okay,
Ryan,
Right. Yeah,
I
so
you're fine.
watched the first two episodes, and that shit was mid. I watched the first two, and I was like, I'll watch it at some point because I eventually see everything MCU. This right here, to say this was Sam's starring role in something, this was not it, boss. I know you finished it. I think right.
I did. I did finish it.
You can say your piece, but me,
I'm gonna say this: those first three episodes, best the series had. The later half, cheeks, and it and here's the
thank
thing.
you, thank you, G's, thank you.
ooh,
Here's the
Validation,
thing. Here's the
validation.
thing. Like this show was built up to be based on its name. If you know what the comics were, this was supposed to be a thriller type of horrifying situation. Just imagine, like, if they had really did what they were supposed to do. If you remember the first 20 to 25 movies of the MCU prior to this was supposed to be like come back out and be like, oh, that person you died was actually a scroll. This person that you thought was on your team the whole time, let's just say Chris Evans, Captain America, was a scroll the whole time. Where's the real Captain America been? You know, this, that, and the other. Like, it was supposed to be, because in the comics, it's this worldwide thing, and the Skrulls have secretly invaded. They have taken high level ranking people in the human side, superhero side, and villain side, and they are slowly taking over Earth. And we don't know who's who. There's no way to tell who's who. This was a much smaller scale story, so it doesn't work really. They could have made it work, but this was supposed to be a spy thriller, and it wasn't thrilling because
ooh.
there's essentially five major characters in this show, beginning to end, and you can deduce who the scroll is from the first two episodes. It's that easy. You don't need to. If you if I had to give you an opportunity to just like be like, okay, I'm gonna say in these five characters, there's two scrolls, and I'm gonna let you decide who they are. Samuel L. Jackson, Martin Freeman's character from the Black Panther movies, so the colonizer agent, Rhodey. We'll go with Kobe Smulders' character. What was her name?
Maria.
Maria Hill. And then we'll say the last one we'll do is the British secret agent. I forget her name. We'll just say those are the five. I forget her name, but we'll say those are the five main characters. Who are the two scrolls in these five? And Ronnie, you could take a guess even though you haven't seen it. Just think about those characters for a moment. And who are the scrolls?
Ooh, so I'm having internet problems. So I heard Samuel L. Jackson and I heard the
Samuel L.
British
Jackson.
woman and I didn't hear nothing
The
in
British
between.
woman that was introduced in this show, the British woman that was introduced in this show, Samuel L.
Oh,
Jackson,
okay.
Olivia Colman's character, that's her real name on a lot of British television. Samuel L. Jackson's characters, Nick Fury, Olivia Colman's character, Maria Hill, Samuel L. Jackson's number one right hand woman who you saw here in all the clips with him in the MCU, Martin Freeman's
Mhm.
colonizer agent from the Black Panther movie, you know, the only other white person besides Claw in those movies. And then who else did I say? Oh, Rhodey, James Rhodes, Iron Man's best friend. There's two scrolls in this five.
The white man.
Martin Freeman's character was a scroll. Take a wild guess on who the second is.
The woman that was with Samuel L. Jackson in the preview.
No. Mm-mm.
But you still got one.
You still got one. That's how easy
And I
it
didn't even
was.
see that.
That's how easy it was. like, and spoiler alert, if you don't want to know who the second scroll is, because this was supposed to be a major reveal, but if you've watched Scooby Doo at any point in your life, you can pick out the villains in this show. It's the only other person with a big talking role. And so spoiler alert, the other scroll was Rhodey, James Rhodes, Iron Man's best friend. And in the point
Don
of
Cheadle.
Don Cheadle's, and watching this show, they tell you when he became a scroll. And then you start thinking back, oh, that messes up a lot of stuff. And it might piss you off as to when he became a scroll. So
Mm,
if you can remember Rhodey's interactions in the MCU, at what point do you see him becoming a scroll?
I barely remember his character. I remember him talking to Anthony Mackie once.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got. I know.
Right.
I know. Don't judge me. Damn it. Sit up, Scoop. Shit.
Okay, my bad. My bad. I'm sorry.
So, you know what? I ain't gonna hold you. So, long story short, it was during Civil War when he got shot out of the sky and he was sent to the hospital. That's when the scrolls replaced him. So everything after
So,
that was a scroll and not the real Rhodey. So the one that was
so
there
do
for
they
Iron
do they
Man in
keep
his death was not was not the real Rhodey.
so did he die or they keep him in a jar?
They keep they they keep so what the
He's locked
scrolls
up.
do, they keep them locked up essentially. They keep them in these standing chambers with these devices on them while they're strapped down so that these electrical devices on their heads can transmit the memories to the scrolls that are impersonating them so that they can more
Oh,
perfectly
that makes
impersonate.
sense.
So
That's
when
smart.
they at the end when they found Rhodey, he was still in his hospital gown. He was taken after he got shot down out of the sky in Civil War. So that scroll you saw during the whole Infinity War, Infinity Saga, and Endgame was a scroll, was not the real Rhodey. So it's
So to
you.
put that in perspective, he don't know Tony dead.
He did not at this point in the time when he woke up. He does not know Tony is dead. He did not. He did not live through anything after the Civil War. Anything.
Damn.
So um. So yeah, they built it up to be this whole spy thriller, but there was a whole lot of spy shit happening, but not a whole lot of thrilling stuff. Like it was like that first episode was the best it was probably going to be. The best thing about this show was Olivia Colman's character. Hope she comes back. Um, other than that,
So let me
oh,
ask you, boss, since you watch it in its entirety, do you feel that it's necessary? Like it's a necessary piece?
you could watch the cliff notes on it.
There you go.
Of all the
There you have it.
MCU shows I've seen them all, beginning to end. You could skip
Yes.
this one, or you could just get a summary of it. The rest
Damn.
I would recommend on some level. This one, even though it's probably the shortest, but also probably the longest, one of the longer ones, you can skip it. I like it because that ending fight, even though they brought out the Super Scroll, which anybody that knows Marvel Comics know who that character is. When they brought out the
Hmm.
Super Scroll, it was like, okay, yay. But then you also remember that character is attached to another Marvel property, and it's
Yes.
like, and it's just in that ending fight, the the visual effects, Lord.
That's a Lord.
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 When when I, when I say if you've seen the Flash movie, this was a step above, barely,
Mm,
barely. When I Cause what's
mm.
her name? Who played Jakars?
Amelia Clark.
Emilia Clarke, who played Daenerys Targaryen. When she was in the
Daenerys.
final fight, and she flexed her Drax arm. If you've seen the meme, it looked just as bad as that. Because because the whole point of them becoming super scrolls, which only happened to two people, it gave them the powers of various people that that lost blood or at some point of had their DNA collected in from Infinity War to the Infinity Saga, like in Civil War and all that prior. So like they had three members of the Black Guard from Thanos' crew from the Infinity Saga. They had that beast at the end of Thor 2. If you remember the mid credit scene, the one that was running around in the real world, somehow that thing was left running around. And they got its DNA. There was DNA from Captain America, DNA from Thor. It got put into this scroll, and they took every opportunity to shapeshift their body so you could be like, "Oh, that's that. Oh, that's that," and it was just stupid.
Boo.
It was stupid
Boo.
to watch.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, oh man, it was.
Like I said, I'm gonna finish it at some point because I usually watch everything MCU, especially with Loki about to come up. Thank God. But Secret Invasion, though, like I said, those first two episodes, I was like, put it this way, it ended even the way they ended episode 2 with Samuel's wife being a scroll and everything, and it was like, okay, y'all win. I'm over it.
And
I'm
here's
over
the
it.
thing, and I understand. Like and they went into further detail about how they got together, and it's like, okay, I'm fine with that. But there was just they. I understand Samuel doesn't want an Oscar to try to get an award, and he just wants to have fun. And I'm sure he had fun with this show. But I'm gonna need y'all to put some respect on that man's name and give him something better to do. Because let's be honest, since the original Avengers, y'all haven't given him a whole lot to do other than Captain Marvel movie. Like,
And funny enough, Sam Jackson said himself, why has Nick Fury not been to Wakanda yet?
that is a good point.
He said himself,
Hey,
how is it
CJ.
that I have not been to Wakanda yet?
Hey, CJ.
What
Uh,
up, CJ?
but yeah, man, it was
That's a good
just
point.
it. Like they could if they had wrote this show better, like and I don't know when this show like finished writing. I don't know if the best writers were already striking at this point or like when they were making this show, but y'all they got to do better. Like they got to do better. Like man, like and
That
I
was me.
understand. So
Oh no, he
like
ain't.
because I mean it was just there was so many that like the president in this show, the president of the United States in this show was an idiot. Like I would just like at
I
one
was
point,
never mind.
if you've seen the
Uh,
trailer, when you seen the convoy get attacked by the helicopters, that's the president's convoy getting attacked by helicopters. When they were in the hospital, he took a gun from a trained Secret Service agent and was like, "Give me that." You are bedridden, sir. What are you gonna do? Like, if you don't give the gun back to the capable soldier protecting you, like if you like if and then when he was faced with the dilemma, he was like, you know what?
thank you,
Uh,
CJ. Appreciate it.
thank you, appreciate it. And
Thank
he was
you.
like, when he was faced with the dilemma and he was being told what was happening, he was still dumbstruck. If you don't just shut up, like there was so many people making stupid choices in this show. Like there was just so many, and the villain. I'll say this: the two brightest spots in this show, Olivia Colman's character and the villain.
Oh,
Those
Rock.
Gravik. Those were the best spots in this show. Gravik, I understood his motivations. I could see and empathize with his motivations. I had no fault with him. Olivia Coleman's character, best thing about this show. So other than that, yeah, this show was just man.
You know, speaking of another TV show, we're gonna go ahead and let our lady ninja take it away. You know, she wanted to add this one personally, so let her take it away with good old sex education.
Listen, listen, okay. I know that boss watches a lot more British TV than I do.
I do.
However, this show is amazing. Okay. It just is.
It
It
is.
the the this last season, everybody talked about it like it was gonna be like trash because there were so many different people that had to leave and they moved on to other shows and this would have been Eric's last season because of course he is our doctor.
Hmm.
But I binged it yesterday. I laughed, I cried a lot, and y'all know I'm not a teary girl, but I laughed, I cried. It was so good. It was a proper send off to everybody. Like it was so good. And if you don't know what it's about, pretty much it's about some young people, Degrassi ish, my so called life ish, with
I
British
started.
comedy mixed.
Yeah, I started watching it too based on Irania's recommendation. And
Okay.
Scoop, you and me had seen a movie that was based on the same book that I had recommended to Irania. It is not as good as this. I
What
forget
was it?
what the
No.
movie was called. Hold on, because it had Anton Yelchin in it and Robert
Yeah.
Downey Jr. If you remember that movie.
Oh, I know what movie you're talking about.
Yeah, so like it
Yeah.
was, yeah, that movie and this show based on the same book.
Okay.
Um, yeah, that movie is not as good as this show. And to
No.
give you a brief synopsis of what this show is these British high school people in this small town, these British high school students, start getting sex advice from another high school student whose mother is a sex therapist.
Agent
And
Scully.
hijinks and hilarity ensues from there. It is a great show. I've started watching it. I'm still in the first season, so I'm probably gonna binge some more of it this year. Not this year, this week. So
Yeah, I'm not gonna give
Okay. Okay.
any
Okay.
spoilers. I'm not
Huh?
giving any spoilers because season 4 literally just dropped, so I'm not giving any spoilers.
You have the
But I
power to
will
crush
say
them,
this.
Mariah. You have power.
No,
You can
because I've
crush them.
already watched it all. But when I say, and I don't know how to say his government name, but Eric Mfungo, our new doctor. Go ahead, boss. You say it. You say it. Say it. What's our new doctor's name? Say it.
what?
I can't.
Hold on, let me look it up. Hold on.
Yeah. When I say that he is the shining ray of light in this show, and that young man can act his ass off, come on,
Okay.
Scottish born Ghanaian talent. Okay. He is a talented young man. What
Nkuti
say
Gakwa.
it?
Who?
We'll go with that.
Nkuti Gakwa.
Yeah, got
I'm, I'm probably butchering it, but
hey,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Looking
We're
at it,
Americans, sorry.
I'm using hooked on phonics. Nkuti Ngakwa. There you go. Like
Yeah,
that's,
when I first looked at it, I was like, can you play it out loud so I can hear it? He's
but yeah, they also,
amazing. He is a shining star.
yeah, but it's also stars, as you said, Agent Scully, Gillian Anderson,
Yes,
Asa Butterfield from Ender's Game. If you don't know what that
yes.
is, um, like
Asa.
it's Asa.
And Maeve's what's Maeve's real name? She was
Uh,
in our one of our movies, the
uh,
one on the
Emma
train.
Mackey. Emma Mackey.
Yeah, she was in the one on the train, the murder on the Orient Express,
Yes.
Oh,
and
we're
she was
gonna
in the
get to
Barbie
that in a
movie.
moment.
And Adam, he was also in the Barbie movie as well. Um, so yeah, like nah, that show is really good, and it feels so natural. That's the thing about the show the reason I think I love it the most, because I really thought about it last night after I finished wiping my nose. And I was just like, what is it about it? It just feels so natural. Everybody is so fluid. Sometimes, and I mean, I'm not dissing American TV or anything. Sometimes some things seem very forced in American TV. But
Mhm.
in British TV, things seem to flow so naturally that you're just like,
I, I will
you
agree
just
with
love
that
it.
100%. British
Yeah.
TV and Korean TV and
Yeah.
Japanese TV
Yeah.
just makes better television shows these days, man.
They do.
Like whether
They
they be
do.
horror related, everyday life related, like sex education, true crime related, or sci-fi, or just anything, they are making better shows
Yeah.
across the seas these days, and
Yeah.
it's a lot better. The
There's,
characters are better, the stories are better, it's
yeah,
more fun to watch. Like Scoop,
it
I put
is.
you and Mrs. Ladybug on one, Death in Paradise. Y'all love that one, like so, like man, like
Shout
Yeah,
outs to
this is my
Luther.
favorite.
You know,
ooh, Luther.
This is
Yeah.
my favorite non-horror show. And y'all
Mhm.
know I don't watch a whole
okay,
bunch of non-horror,
okay,
but this is my favorite non-horror show. The other seasons, season 4 just dropped. I've already watched the other seasons 3 or 4 times
Mhm.
damn,
consecutively. Like,
damn.
I love this show. It is just so good. And remember, to hell with y'all before I say this,
Uh oh.
that was two spits. That was two spits. Okay. Y'all know I love my so-called life. And I love Degrassi as well. I love the coming of age kind of shows about teens and their experience, but this one is done so smart and it's so funny, but it really does have real topics that you can understand and be like, oh, and like when I was in high school and I was watching my so-called life, I could understand, Rayanne, right?
Right.
Or Raylyn, because I'm her age. And then when I got older and I watched Degrassi, I was like, I can still kind of understand. When I watched this, I went, damn, is that what kids have to go through now? That's important.
Mhm.
That little piece
Okay.
right there, like I could truly understand what kids go through, their anxieties and pressures. And it's a great show. Like if you haven't watched it, watch it. It's great. I'm going to watch season 4 again because I was living for it. Like, and again, I cannot wait to see our new doctor. I kept
Mhm.
screaming at, no one heard me, but I kept screaming at. I was like, that's my doctor right now. Eric
Well,
Lupongo, that's my doctor.
well, there you go. Sex education, Netflix, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Uh, the next piece of and speaking of my so-called life, um, I don't know if the other two ninjas got a chance to see it,
I
but
have not
me,
yet.
but Mrs. Ladybug
Not
and
me.
I got a chance to go see Haunted Mansion, which does come out on Disney Plus. I think it was October 4th, so it will be
Okay.
on Disney Plus soon. Uh, Jared Leto, aka Jordan Catalano, stars as the Hatbox Ghost in here. But the movie stars Rosario Dawson, Owen Wilson, Lakeith Stanfield, uh, Danny DeVito. Oh my God, her name just literally slipped my mind just that fast. Tiffany Haddish. Ha,
Mhm.
there you go. Uh, a smooth 8, maybe 9. I enjoyed this movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I enjoyed this
So
movie.
it's better than the Eddie Murphy movie.
Yes, it was simple. They kept it simple. They kept it grounded, and I love the reactions to kind of spoil some of it. Rosario's character and her son moves into the house.
Hmm.
The son from Jump is like, I ain't going in that motherfucker. Because she's all like, yeah, it's a fixer upper. We could do this. And the whole time, he kind of has this look. Because the great thing about her son, you see all of his emotion on his face. And he's looking at her like, you can't be, are you seeing what I'm seeing? So then there was a part where the suit of armor was moving, and the boy kept seeing it. And then the one time Rosario sees it, she was like, "Nah, get our stuff. We getting the hell out of here." Like she was like, we get." And then per the story, that's when you see there everybody who enters the house is tied to the house. The story is once you cross the threshold, you're haunted by some ghost from that house, and it's going to force you to go to that house. Yeah.
Boo.
And of course, the thing is, the Hatbox Ghost need 1,000 souls so it can basically come back to life and essentially unleash hell. And from
Mm,
that, that's how you get this quote unquote team of Avengers in a sense with Owen Wilson, Lakeith Stanfield, Danny DeVito, and Tiffany Haddish. But the movie technically stars Lakeith. Lakeith is really the star. So I know Aranya will really love that seeing her birthday twin uh pretty much as the star of the movie. But yeah, it had
You
laughs,
know it.
it had emotions because there was one part where some tears were shed, and it came out of nowhere. It
mm.
came out of nowhere, and it was like I wasn't expecting that moment to hit me as hard as it did, but goddamn it! But yeah, I enjoyed every minute of it. Like I said, it should be on Disney Plus next week. If you got time, check it out. Haunted Mansion. It definitely is better than the Eddie Murphy one that came out in '03,
Three,
'04,
oh three.
'05. But yeah,
Whew.
definitely worth checking out. Now, the next film arguably it's in my top three of the year, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out where I'm gonna put it.
Mm.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. My God, was this a movie? This is a 10 out of 10. Just ignore that right now. 10 out of 10.
Out of 10. It's
10 out of
this
10.
is what across this is to TMNT what Across the Spider Verse is to Spider Man. This is the best Ninja Turtles movie that has ever been released,
Yes. Live action or animated.
live
Yes.
action or animated. Yes,
Look here. You had vocal talents from many people. It's too much to name. But boss, go ahead and hit them with a little taste of that Ray Filet.
that fillet. Look, like and Rodney, let me tell you, when the other mutants came up, and Ray Fillet was either Manta or is he a Stingray? He
Stingray.
Stingray. He came up. He can't talk regular. He can only sing.
Oh
So
no.
when they
Who
when
plays his character?
Post
uh,
Malone.
Post Malone.
Okay.
And so when Ice Cube Superfly was introduced, he was like, "That's over there. That's Ray Fillet," and he was like, "It's Ray Fillet." Wait a minute. And he was every time he would go to him, he would be singing his name. And Ice Cube Superfly would be like, Ray, dang it, stop that singing. Like
You had Jackie Chan as Splinter, Ice Cube
oh
as Superfly,
yeah.
John Cena. As John Cena was Rocksteady or Bebop, I can't remember.
But
Seth
Maya
Rogen was the other.
Rudolph as the alligator, what was his name? What was the alligator's name? Uh
Leatherhead.
Leatherhead, yes. And so
Uh, and look, I'm telling you, the way they did the turtles in this movie was chef's kiss. They were
yes,
legit teenagers,
very much
and
so.
they was teenagers discovering the world and wondering why they couldn't be part of the world. And it was just amazing, like their whole take on New York culture and things like that. Everything about this movie, and I'm telling you, when I first saw that Ice Cube was going to be Superfly, basically the main villain of the whole movie, when I say that he was the MVP of this movie, oh my God, Cube did his thing.
Yeah, but like everybody, they had
When he gets
Giancarlo Esposito,
introduced,
had Baxter Stockman. Like
yes,
they're oh man, it was it was so
when
much.
when
Oh
Superfly gets introduced, they play Gucci Man's Fly in the Sky, Gucci Man featuring Bruno Mars and Kodak Black. That's his introductory song. Like literally, they play it on a boombox and he gets out bopping,
yeah,
but like he gets out bopping to the song. And then when he opens up the door, he was like, "Oh man, what? It's a little bunch of tortoises up in
it's a
here."
little bit tortoises up in here. Yeah, And they were like, "Oh, y'all. Let me guess. Y'all had some ooze come down the sewer, and it turned y'all into what y'all is. So y'all are mutants too. You're like, so we like cousins. You're like,
Cause
we thought it was cousins, and he was like, cousin. And it was like, wait a minute.
telling you, I'm
Mm-mm,
telling you, this
mm-mm.
movie. I wish I had Paramount Plus so I can watch it again. That's
Look,
all I'm saying. It's
they
on Paramount Plus right
Paul
now.
Rudd as Mondo Gecko, who was just
Yes, yes.
Hey, Paul Rudd.
But yes, this movie was amazing. Like, in all honesty, this is gonna sound like the weirdest four movies of my favorite movies of this year. Actually, five. We got Evil Dead Rise. We got John Wick 4. We got Turtles. We got Spider Man, and we got Fast X. I know that's a weird ass lineup of my favorite movies of the year, but between those five, I don't know who's gonna take it. But geez, Mutant Mayhem was a joy from start to
to
finish.
like, oh man. And when they started going New York turtles. Like,
I'll be
yo,
like, "Hey, yo, let me get let
you
me
meet
get it."
me with the bear. Like we outside. We are like
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Yeah. The turtles were full on teenagers, and I loved every minute of it because every other Ninja Turtle film show treated them characters like they were grown men and called them teenage and name only. So, like these, like oh man, these characters were great. Like,
Yeah,
oh, I can't wait for the sequel. I know it's gonna get one. Like, oh man.
it's supposed to be, I think, a sequel and a TV show, if I remember correctly.
I'm ready for both of them. Like, man,
Um, but yes, Mutant Mayhem. If you hadn't seen it, it's on Paramount Plus now. Watch it. Plain and simple. Another
I will
film.
watch it.
Yes, another film. I don't know if y'all two got a chance to see it yet, but A Haunting in Venice.
yes, I saw it yesterday.
Um,
I have
this
not seen it
is
yet. No spoilers.
No spoiler.
Hercule Poirot's third adventure on film, and boy, this was a movie.
This, whew, this was
I'm gonna
great.
say this. This is the only clue that I'm gonna give, and the only, I guess, spoiler you can give. There's no way my black self would have stuck around when things started happening. That's all I'm saying. It was Halloween. Things was happening. Hey y'all, I'm gonna head out with the orphans and everybody else. Y'all got this? Cool, cool,
Well,
cool,
you
cool.
got to remember when things started happening, you couldn't leave anyway if you wanted.
I would have left with the orphans, like I said.
And see, they were gone when the stint started happening.
I would
Oh,
have left with the
okay.
orphans.
You wouldn't have been
Because
around
the
for the
problem
stuff that
was, because
happened.
what, because what these movies take place in what 1700s, 1800s.
No, this
They
is
had the
1940s.
whatever it was. They had the creepy ass Halloween shit. I would have been gone a long time ago. No, 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 no.
Look,
You're not about to
Ronnie,
get me
there
caught
was
up.
a kid. This was 1947, so this was just post-war. There was a kid there in a Halloween costume of a ghost that looked like they took a white trash bag and tried to make Sam from memory. When I tell you, it was horrifying to look at some of these costumes.
No, no.
Somebody like, when do you ever see those black and white photos of like early 19th century Halloween costumes? These were those children.
Even the creepy little story that they told. Nope. I'm out. I'm
They,
done. I'm out.
the games they had playing at this Halloween party, bobbing for apples and knocking down the stick blocks. You remember that, Scoop? There was a
Mhm.
bunch of little sticks stacked up on a tray. You just knocked them down, and oh, they all tumbled. That
But
was a
yeah,
game.
but yeah.
No
Uh,
comment. No comment.
but,
We
but
live.
no.
No comment.
When you when you see this movie, Araya, It is entertaining.
Yes.
It is, yes, it is everything I
It
wanted that
looked
movie to be.
entertaining.
It's
Yeah,
everything
it
I
looked
wanted to
really
be.
entertaining.
And it's a
Boss,
great mystery too.
if
Like,
you
oh,
had to rank them, how you ranking them?
oh, those three? Oh,
Yeah,
mm,
because I can give you mine.
I'm gonna say they're all very good.
Hmm.
I'd say right now I put Orient Express last.
That's what Mrs. Ladybug and I did. We
Orient
put
Express
we,
would be
we, we put
last,
Orient Express last.
and I'd say mm, this versus Death on the Nile. I would say I'd probably say this one was better than Death on the Nile.
We went the other way. We put Death on the Nile, then this one.
Y'all really like Death on the Nile that
Yeah,
much?
yeah,
That one was last for me. I haven't seen this one, of course, but
yeah,
Death on the Nile was last for me.
I love Death on the Nile, but I'm
yeah,
thinking more so like here's the thing about the murders because all of them feature essentially impossible murders. Like
Mhm.
this, like murder was impossible to figure out because the motive and the opportunity pointed everywhere. I'm not gonna spoil
Mhm.
that one. Death on the Nile, the opportunity was almost non-existent, and it was just like,
yeah.
how did it happen? This one is like, if you ain't paying attention, you gonna miss an important piece of clues. And
And
like,
see, I'll say that with Death on the Nile. I'm fat, so a lot of them murders wouldn't have happened. So there's no way I would have. And if they would have known, I would have been sitting there.
look,
Nah.
woo,
I'm
like
like,
out of breath.
wait a minute.
Woo,
How far is it? Ooh, and
shit.
it's hot. We talking about the Nile River. It's hot. Mosquitoes.
Also,
Mm-mm.
it's on a boat, so that's bobbing and weaving. You got to keep your footing. And, uh,
So they
I'm
would
like,
have known it
overboard.
was
Oh,
me.
now crocodile, help, help.
They would have known it was me because it would have been too much rumbling, stumbling, and rumbling.
Now
Right.
they were
And
like,
running. If
you're
you
going
weigh more and
at
you
it.
run, right, it's like boom, 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 boom. They would have been like, what the fuck?
So yeah, they would have known it was me. It wouldn't have been no secret. It would have been like, fam, all right, y'all got me. I'm gonna just go ahead, y'all got me. Go ahead and give it up. But
Oh.
definitely Haunted in Venice is definitely worth seeing. And I enjoyed.
I'll say this though. The casts of the first two, Orient Express and Death on the Nile, were a lot better than the overall cast of this one. Still a great story, still a great mystery, still acted extremely well. I just enjoyed the cast of the first two more.
I can agree with that. Um, Another one I added to the list because I totally forgot that it came out. So this will just be another solo boss adventure.
Hmm.
Go ahead and give it up, boss. Go ahead and
Oh,
give it up.
oh,
Let the
oh,
people
oh.
know.
The live action show of the greatest anime manga that has ever existed. Like, just here's the thing. When this show was announced, I felt like Eeyore. I was so upset and sad because anybody that has seen a live action anime show, movie,
They
whatever,
do not translate well at all.
like every one of them was like the video game movies of the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. If you remember the Super Mario Brothers movie, if you remember the Street Fighter movie, if you remember that second Mortal Kombat movie, if you remember Alone in the Dark, Scoop,
Yeah.
if you remember the Hitman, like if you remember any video game movie from the 80s, 90s, or 2000s, you can even go Double Dragon. I thought even back a little farther than that.
Hey,
Like,
we will not be besmirching Double Dragon
we
nor
will.
Street Fighter. Okay,
Shit.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, wink.
So,
We will
like,
not besmirch those movies.
just
I
knew
enjoyed those movies very much.
I enjoyed Street Fighter as a child. I can look at it today and say that shit was trash.
You know what? You're
I
trash.
got
How about that?
I got in
You're
trouble
trash.
for pay-per-view in Street Fighter from some 11 something times rewatching that movie as a kid. So that movie was trash. But I watched
It
it
was
because
not
I enjoyed it
trash.
as a kid. But anyway, so we knew anybody that watches that has seen a live action anime, especially coming from Netflix, especially after Death Note and just anything else, we had all the reservations. And then it was announced that Oda, the author and creator, was going to be heavily involved. It's like, okay, we're listening. Came out with the casting. I'm still listening. All the sets are going to be hand built, no, very little CGI. I'm listening. So, and in the trailer, and it's like, it's campy, like the anime. I'm still listening. You still have me. Show came out. Best live action anime adaptation there ever will be. I'm not gonna say ever will be. We don't know what else is coming, but currently as it stands, this is the best live action anime show that has ever been made. It
It
is
probably
head and
will be.
shoulders. It is head and shoulders above everything. It is 10 episodes that basically covers the first 50 episodes of the 1077 episode anime that is currently still ongoing. It is
I'm not. I'm not.
greatly
I'm
casted.
never catching up to this.
It is greatly casted. Every cast member embodies the character they were hired to do. There were some, and of those first 50 episodes, there were changes made in this live action show that essentially enhanced the story. They didn't take away from it. They left out the parts that were just stupid or troubling. Like this show, like and Scoop probably remembers like Don Krieg,
Yes.
most forgettable villain the show the anime has ever had. Left
Yes.
out this show almost entirely. He's in it,
Yeah.
but like his whole little fighting arc doesn't happen. They
Yeah. Yeah.
basically left out all the problem stuff to better enhance everything else that the show is, and it is just better for it. Like, and when they say Oda was involved, it was just it's great. Like you see it. You see that they took care of the show. They made it with care. It's made with love. It's greatly acted. It's just great. If you don't have if you don't want to watch the anime and try to get into those 1,000+ episodes, it's understandable. It is a daunting task. So, but if you want to watch the live action, I can wholly recommend that because it's already been greenlit for season two. Season two will probably take up the next 50 to 60 episodes, which will include the Alabasta arc and other stuff. So go ahead. Like this show is great. Watch it. It is amazing. So
There you go. One Piece. Uh, Aranya, is there any other shows or movies that you consume?
Um, I am in the process of watching the new Black Girl. I think that's what it's called on Hulu.
The other
okay.
black girl.
I added that to my
The other
list.
Black Girl. Yeah, yeah. So far, it's pretty interesting. You go like this. Now, Josie and the Pussycats, because I watched Riverdale. I was like, I'm watching you. Okay. So right now it's kind of well, I think I'm like oh maybe 5 or 6 episodes in.
Mhm.
That's getting interesting. It's getting interesting. That's all I'll say because I don't want to spoil it. I also started today watching no, how do I forget things so easily? Um it's on Netflix. Is it on Netflix? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Survival of the Thickest.
Oh, I heard of that.
What
Yeah.
is that?
This,
I, I
this,
forgot the actress's
this.
name, but yeah.
She boss.
What is
She's plus. She's light skinned. It's this,
wait a minute, wait a
and
minute. What
she is me.
is it?
You
No,
remember?
you wouldn't have seen that show. Because there's this show on Netflix I watched called The Great Barbecue Cook Off or whatever, something like that. and I think the same woman hosts it. Like,
I
This
think
chick
so.
is in that show with Jill Scott. You know what show that Jill Scott is?
If
Uh, because I
if
looked
you
it up
remember,
earlier.
how well do you remember the Key and Peele skits? Because remember,
Who are
she
you
was in
talking
that
to?
skit with I'm talking to Boss. She
yep,
was in that.
yep, this show.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, she's the chick. She hosts the Great Barbecue Cook-Off on Netflix, 2 seasons. Great, great
Okay.
stuff. But yeah, I
This
know that
first
show.
of all, this chick is hilarious, and I promise you, she has a best friend that's the CJ, and she's hilarious. Her experiences are hilarious. And so far, I think I'm on episode like 4. I plan to finish what they have out so far today because it is really good. I will do a review on that. I think it's gonna be one of my guilty pleasures because it's outside of the horror genre. So I'm watching those 2 shows for sure. Can't think of anything else other than, of course, I'll probably do a recap on Bridgerton and Queen Charlotte at some point.
Mhm.
Um, but
Sorrows,
because
sorrows, prayers,
sorrows,
prayers.
sorrows.
Um.
Because she's amazing. So yeah,
So to catch up with everything MCU and things like that. Earlier in the summer, the missus and I watched Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Fire, fire. That
Mm.
show was fire. That cartoon,
what
rather,
is that?
fire.
Oh, it's a
Moon
cartoon.
Girl and
Devil
Devil
Dinosaur.
Dinosaur. Yeah,
It's a
it was a
it's a
cartoon. It was on
Marvel
Disney.
character. It's a Marvel character based on Lunella Lafayette, who is
Mm-hmm.
the smartest character, hero or villain, in all of Marvel Comics. She's only like 11, 10
I
or
think
11.
she's. No. I think in the show they made her 12, 13, something like that in the
Well,
show.
yeah. So think about that, Aranya. Like this child, little black girl from New York, is the smartest character in all of Marvel. So smarter than people that have invented time travel, that have done all kinds of crazy stuff. She is the smartest. In
I
her
remember you
comic,
telling me about her.
yeah, she gets a companion named Devil Dinosaur, who is this red horned T Rex. So, and he
That she
only listens to her.
that she built this machine that he came through. He came through this portal,
Hmm.
and she was like, she looking at him, he looking at her, and it was just like, friend.
Right. So, and let's just say he don't play about his little Lunella. Let's just say
No,
that.
no, he does not.
So, and also vice versa. But anyway, yeah. So, like in that show, I've been wanting to jump into that show because I have
It is great.
the comics and the hip hop variant covers, and I love that. I love her
Yes.
character. So,
Hey, boss. There's even an episode because it threw Mrs. Ladybug and I out. They started playing Sweatpants by Childish Gambino.
no, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
No, they
Yes,
didn't.
they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. But
Okay.
yes, the show, hey, your boy Aranya David Diggs stars in one episode as the Rat King, busting bars. Bars. I'm telling you, this show was actually great. You had Lawrence Fishburne starring as the Beyonder. Like it this was actually I think it was 10 episodes, 10, 12 episodes. It ends on the cliffhanger. I think they did say season 2 was supposed to happen. I don't know when now because of the writer strike. But yes, Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, show. It is a show. Definitely worth checking out. Boss, anything that you've been.
Two things. Number one, I'll say the Pixar movie Elemental didn't
Okay.
get a whole lot of great press this year when it came out. Not people calling it a bad movie, it just didn't do well at the box office.
Uh-huh.
This is probably one of the better Pixar movies I've seen in the last few years. Mainly
Okay.
because it's not geared towards children. This is meant for adults. It's an adult story with adult issues, but it's also funny to where children and teens can watch. But it is a great movie. It's going to crush it on Disney Plus like it's doing.
Yeah.
Um, like if you If you enjoy Pixar movies, watch it. If you like animated movies and want a more adult story, watch it. Like, and I don't mean adult as in violent, it's just more issues that adults face. So,
Mhm.
you know, check it out. Also, I have an anime recommendation, one that's still ongoing. It's not long like One Piece, but if you are looking for an anime to get into and you like horror aspects, you like violence, you like fighting, get started
Don't look
right
at me.
now. Get started right now on Jujutsu Kaisen. hmm You want
Oh,
to
I've
see
heard
people?
Nico talk about that.
You want to see people get bloody? You want to see people die? Like, yeah, you want to see people get haunted by demons? Just, yep,
Don't look at me.
yep. Because when I tell you, season 2 is currently airing right now, and it's got about 20 episodes left in it. Scoop, you've seen a lot of anime. When
Hmm.
I tell you the arc that season 2 is going to cover is one of the better arcs in anime history,
Yeah.
I
Damn.
put it
History.
right.
Damn.
I'm gonna tell you where I rank it. It's right up there with the Cell games,
Okay.
the Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament.
That's some high praise.
It
That's
is
some high
the
praise.
writing in this season is insane. And when I say it's not talk a whole lot of talking, it's a whole lot of no. We on jump action. No, fam. Where you think you going? It's time to fight. Like so,
See,
like
I
if you
love a good pull up anime. Like I love a good
look,
just like we're gonna just pull up and just fight.
look, no,
Like
fam.
fuck
You
all the
you you
talking, just
kill
throw
people.
hands.
You kill people. There's no talking. No, we ain't here for exposition. Get these hands. Then
Exactly. I want hands thrown.
come to the street. I will beat your monkey ass. Like just
Oh,
like watch like the first season is out there right now. It's 24 episodes. There's a 2 hour movie after that. Binge it if you can. If you're into anime, you got Crunchyroll. Binge them and then get started on the second season while it's still going. Because when this second season ends, jaws will be dropped. It's going to explode on social media when the later episodes come out. So
Okay.
because I am deep into the manga. I know what's coming, and people that are also into the manga know what's coming. They are
what is
not
it
ready.
on?
It's on Crunchyroll. I have a subscription. Scoot has my information. I can send it to you as well.
I might have to
Didn't you
re-get
download
that.
that on my PlayStation?
I did.
I'm gonna see if it's still on there because you know I'll be deleting shit.
I'm about to say, yeah, I'm gonna have to re-get it for sure because I know it's been a minute since I accessed Crunchyroll. But like I said, I love a good pull up anime. Fuck all the talking, let's just fight.
No. See, Scoot, like I sent a clip to the group one time. Like y'all
Uh,
seen that clip of that anime with that long haired white dude just getting beat up by 2 people?
yes,
That's
yes.
from the show. That's from the first season.
Okay.
They were like, let him get up, let him get up. Just getting just like
Bullshit. Bullshit.
like they not letting him speak.
Wait,
Just
you
Boy
like
was
wait,
getting lumped.
wait.
because he was sure trying to do a whole lot of talking and stalling. And they like, no. They were like, no. That ain't what we about today.
Damn.
Getting his feelings hurt. But anything else anybody got want to talk about that they've been watching, checking out? Of course, wrestling has been doing wrestling things, WWE wise. We got to see with this whole merger with UFC forming the TKO Media Group. We got to see, there's been some releasing going on. So we got to see what's
A
going to come of
lot of
this.
releasing.
We got to see. We got to see what the direction of the product is about to go going forward. But other than that, it's been wrestling. AEW has been doing this thing as well. So we just got to see where it's going to go. But all those reviews and stuff will be resuming now that we have knocked out 100. Now that we knocked out 100, y'all might start getting flooded with CCRs now. So
Absolutely.
so be happy. Content
And
will be on the way
G's, if you're asking about Jujutsu Kaisen, it's on Crunchyroll. So there you go.
because Mad WWE. PLEs is about to come up. We got some TV shows because Continental is out. Your boy is
Is it
about
out?
to
Okay.
it's out,
Oh,
but
the
it's gonna be
House of
weekly.
Usher coming. Mm,
Oh,
Uh,
oh, oh.
mm.
I can't wait. I can't fucking wait.
Cannot, cannot. Especially because I saw a review said this is the best show Mike Flanagan's ever done, and I'm like, hold on now,
Hold
hold
on.
on, hold on a
So
minute
what
now,
you say about the other ones?
because
Because they was the
Hill
lady.
House, Hill
Look,
House.
remember?
Shit. Look, the big neck lady. Like, let me tell you, scared me a couple times.
Okay, like, hey, bitch, you need to slow down. Stop
calm,
popping up, bitch.
calm your dead tits, and let's talk
Right.
about
But
this.
even Midnight Mass, like, man, come on, come on, come on.
Oh,
I'm
like
ready. I
even
cannot wait.
yeah, see,
Blind
I'm not
Willie
familiar with none of this.
did the turning of the screw better than that damn movie we saw. So
Yeah, I cannot wait. Like literally, I keep going on the website to refresh it to make sure it don't change.
What's it
That
mhm.
it
gonna
don't
be
move
on?
up.
It's coming on Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I mean,
on
yeah,
the
I saw
6th.
IGN gave it a 10, so I was like, damn.
Oh, and the Changeling still has new episodes coming out. So far, come on, Lakeith. Come on, show them what us August 12th Leos are about. Come on, Lakeith. That motherfucker been acting. You understand? So the Changeling is good. I remember you asked me like
I
what I
did.
was thinking and stuff like that, but I hadn't gotten that far. But it's crazy, crazy, and I'm just like this. Hey, Lakeith, you judging me? It's fine. I don't care about your
Yeah,
judgment.
we're gonna do it anyway. But yeah, so peeps, 100 episodes in the books.
Hmm.
Books.
Wow,
100.
wow.
And then like Boss said earlier, the first true CCR was Candyman reboot.
Hmm.
So from Candyman reboot up into here. So I mean, if you want to know what's coming soon, like I said, you got was it Fall of the House of Usher? You got Loki. You're gonna have Continental.
Hmm.
Whatever movie still yet to come out. I know we got Five Nights at Freddy's. We got The
Oh,
Believer. It's not called The Believer. What is the movie
Funk
called?
Show coming to Disney Plus this year. I'm gonna check that out.
The
Yes,
So
what?
that they remade Goosebumps into a new
yes.
seasonal
Oh
And
type
that
yeah, yeah,
show.
looks
yeah.
fire.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks
it
What's the
does. I
Exorcist
think I put it
Believer?
in the group chat. Yeah, because I was trying to figure out what he was talking about. I was like, the what?
All I could think
oh yeah,
about was Believer and
the
And I
Exorcist
was
Exorcist.
like,
Believer.
Yeah.
But you got Exorcist. You got there's mad shows and movies coming out, which will all be CCRs. The only y'all's way.
and we haven't seen
Uh,
the Nun 2 yet.
Nope, not
no.
yet.
Me neither. But you know.
Well, I haven't seen The Nun, nor Conjurings, nor Annabelle. So both of y'all did not have to give me that reaction. So that was so uncalled for. That was so
I have
uncalled for.
told
I
I
did not
have
need that
told
reaction
they're
from both of
red.
y'all. That was so
They're
uncalled for.
red toes.
It's mainly
So uncalled
because
for.
those movies in that universe
Okay,
rekindled horror
okay,
of the past decade.
okay. I see
I-
him when I see him. I see him when I see him. Oh yeah, we got Saw coming this weekend. Your boy is
this is
ready.
what the 12th movie.
I don't
If
even fucking
if,
care.
if, if you want to put it all in perspective, yes, this is technically the 12th one.
Because I
But
still haven't seen Spiral.
me neither.
Me neither. Or I don't care. A
Spiral is the only
Jigsaw,
one
I
I
haven't
haven't
seen
seen
that
yet.
either.
I
I
don't even
haven't seen
remember the
Jigsaw.
last Saw movie. I like.
Jigsaw was alright,
I don't really
but
care.
Spiral is
Like
the
I'm
only one I
over it.
haven't seen.
I'm over it. Like for real.
They're
I'm just
like the
like I don't care.
Paranormal Activity movies at this point. Like
But yeah,
I'm.
it's Saw and something else. Something. Oh, Creator. That comes out
Oh
Oh,
this
yeah.
Thanksgiving.
weekend.
Thanksgiving.
What's
Oh,
Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
The movie.
The,
Thanksgiving.
the movie
Oh, I was like,
Thanksgiving, the
what's
one
coming out
made
of
by
Thanksgiving?
The horror movie, the slasher movie.
I thought you were saying something was coming. Like the creator don't come out of Thanksgiving. It's coming out soon.
The creator looks very good though. Like
I
so.
just hope I hope that it's good and not quiet whispers where I'm like this.
like, what are you saying? Like
What the
John
where the
David,
closed
shut up.
caption?
Um,
Look, you know I need the closed caption.
Oh, what was that movie? I don't know if either of y'all interested in, but that movie looks strange and weird as fuck. The one with Willem Dafoe looking like The Weeknd when he had his face done. Poor Things.
Look, okay. So when Mrs. Ladybug and I went to go see Haunted in Venice,
They
they
showed that
showed that
trailer during
trailer,
mine.
and
Yes.
I was like, something in me wants to see this, and I don't know
Right.
why.
It
Is that the
exact. I was
GameStop movie?
No, no,
no
no, 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 no. It's Poor Things. It's basically a retelling of Frankenstein with
Emma Stone
Emma Stone as the monster.
and Mark Ruffalo and Willem Dafoe and
No,
It's
that's not
called
the
Poor
movie I was thinking.
Things. It's in black and white. But Dumb Money is the movie you're talking about.
That's what I
Dumb
want to see.
Money,
I want to see Dumb
yeah.
Money.
the
But yeah,
same.
Poor
I
Things
know.
comes
Plus,
out.
my man is in there.
There's a lot of people in that movie. I didn't realize how star-studded that cast was for Dumb Money.
Yeah,
But yeah,
he
Poor
really
Things
is.
looked interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of like, huh,
Hmm. It
something in me
looks
wants me to see that.
it looks strange enough to be intriguing. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Boss, what's my rules? Boss,
What
what's
black
my
and white
rules?
you don't do?
If it's black and white. But the trailer I saw was not in black and white.
Really?
You said
Like the
what?
one I saw was in color. So
Wait, I thought it was. I used
like
to
it
ask the nigga.
started in black and white, but then it transitioned to color.
It might have done that, and I
Oh,
might have just.
okay.
So
If I
but
look,
yeah.
if
But
I
when I
start
run this
watching, then
rule,
it's
if it's in black and white, she ain't watching it.
Oh, are you gonna rewatch Monster by Night since they're gonna release it in color? I mean, Werewolf by Night since they're gonna release it in color.
no. I
I'll
watched it
probably
once.
I'll probably
I'm
rewatch it,
good.
but I don't know if it'll be better than the black and white version because that
But
would
yeah,
suck.
they're gonna re-release it this year in color. Um,
I told
what else?
this one that was his only pass. That one.
Werewolf by
He was
Night.
like, "You gotta watch it." Yeah, and so I was like,
It was
"Look,
so
I'm gonna
good
watch
though.
it." That's
Yeah,
it.
It was
so
so
I mean,
good.
it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at
no
all. I just don't
no
like black and white.
Um, but yeah, like I said, we got plenty of CCRs heading y'all's way. But yeah, we got 100 other things in the book.
hmm
Horner plus Horner.
haunted rounds in the chamber. Hmm.
Yep. All
Oh,
for y'all viewing pleasure on YouTube or for your listening pleasure on Spotify. Just search
Absolutely.
up Less Than Stealthy Ninjas. Well, Spotify, Google, Apple, almost anywhere you get podcasts. Just search our names.
Hmm.
And boom, you'll see Ninja Banter. You'll see all the Card Chronicles, all 100 plus right there for you. Waiting on you. Listen to. Binge watch 'em. Check them out.
oh.
Listen.
Next weekend is the Days of the Dead con,
Yep.
and the following weekend is the pop up, the Bedrock
Everybody
City
said it.
pop up.
Nah, it's not that pop up, it's their actual con.
Oh, it's a con?
Yeah, it's their actual convention.
Mm.
No, I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
know.
the
I won't
actual.
be here,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's their actual convention.
I thought it was a pop up. But
Uh,
you know,
but yeah, and later in October, Houston Horror Film Festival got another pop up.
yep.
I think it was
The end
October
of
20th, something like
Okay.
that.
no, the
But
last weekend.
I was the last weekend. I think it was 27th. You're right, 27th,
Yeah,
20th, something like
yeah.
that. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, we got plenty of CCRs to ride out this year. You know what I'm saying? We at 100 now. By the time January 2024 get here, cause I'm gonna make Boss do a CCR on Boulder's Gate. He didn't put in way too much time on Boulder's Gate not to do a proper review on that.
I'm
So
gonna do one. I'm gonna do one.
so 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 I'm gonna make Boss do a CCR on Boulder's Gate. He didn't put in way too much time in that. That man has been streaming that game almost nightly since it came out,
That is true.
Like,
and I
hold
still
on.
don't know what the hell's going on.
Let me see. How many
Me
hours
neither.
have I played? Let me see. Oh damn.
1,000.
Nope. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
How much?
How many hours?
123 and a half.
123?
123.
I
In
would have
two
thought it would have
weeks.
been more than that.
He always playing that game. It's like this. Oh,
Look,
and
man.
then he be talking back to the little people and the little
I do.
people and the elves.
Not
And
that,
I'm
that
just like,
you be
okay.
talking back to
He do.
Like, look,
I
they
sneak
talking
into
crazy.
sometimes. Sometimes I'll sneak into the stream. I don't say nothing. I just lurk, and he just talking to the people. I'm like, all right, if they respond, it is what it is.
But once again, thank y'all for riding with us. Thank you for being on this journey.
Thank
Many more to
you.
go.
Thank you.
You know, when we set out to start doing these, we were just doing them off the strength because it was like, hey, we see these movies and shows and stuff. Let's just talk about them. And who would have thunk we already be at 100?
Yep.
Mm,
Hmm.
Thank you for your support and your
yep,
love, y'all.
Thank you. Thank
yep.
you. Thank you.
But whether you loved it, hate it, don't forget to rate it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Shout out to my
Mhm.
tag brethren. But preferably thumbs up though. You got like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that notification button, all of that, all of that. And then if you follow the podcast on Spotify, the video versions are on Spotify.
Mhm.
So just in case you don't want to see it on YouTube, you can watch the video versions on Spotify because I've been uploading the video versions on Spotify. The audio is on Google and Apple and wherever else our podcast is because it's in a lot of spots. But the video version is on Spotify and YouTube. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse. None whatsoever. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. Here's to 100. Here's to 100 more.
Mhm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So until
Yay.
then, till next time, Scooter Ray, run your miss, aka Irancita, aka the final girl. And then you got Cosmic Boss, aka the Cosmic Troll,
Mm.
aka Zap Daddy. We'll see y'all. And once again, thank you again to Mrs. Ladybug, Planet Nico, Lip Dizzle, Jaeger Bombastic, Neon Xerxes, the
Everybody.
Sixth Degree, Beautiful
Everybody.
Disaster, all the people who have joined us on CCRs. We appreciate y'all. And until next time, they call him a cuckoo
Go,
god,
go.
the feather serpent god. Peace.
Peace, everybody.